There is something important to understand about what you went through, and I'm going to say it in a way that keeps you grounded, not fearful, because the experience was real, the confusion was real, the emotional intensity was real, the connection, even if it later proved unhealthy, felt real. But the meaning behind it doesn't have to be framed as something dark or supernatural for it to be valid. Let's break it down clearly. At one point, someone came into your life with a strong energy. They showed interest. They created closeness. They pulled you in emotional and possibly physical. And because you are someone who loves deeply, you opened up. That's not a flaw. That's who you are. But one of the hardest lessons you had to learn is this. Not everyone loves you the way you love. Not everyone's connected with the same intentions. Some people come from unresolved pain. Some come from insecurity. Some come from a need for control, validation, or emotional reassurance. And when those things aren't addressed, they show up in a relationship. So what happened here? This person formed a strong emotion bond with you, what people sometimes call a soul tie. But in grounded terms, it is simply a deep emotional attachment, built quickly and intensely. And the intensity can be misleading because when something feels strong, fast and consuming, it can bypass your usual caution. You may have noticed the things earlier on, small inconsistencies, moments that didn't fully sit right, but the connection felt powerful enough that you pushed those thoughts aside. You gave them the benefit of doubt. You trusted what you felt, and again, that's human. Now here's the key part. People who struggle with control or unresolved issues often create emotional closeness quickly, but they don't sustain in it in a healthy way. Once they feel secure in your attention, things shift. They pull back. They become inconsistent. They behave in a ways that create confusion. And that confusion, it keeps you emotionally engaged. It makes you question yourself. It makes you seek clarity. It makes you focus on them. Not always intentional, but it becomes a pattern. But something different happened in your case. You didn't stay stuck in it. Yes, it hurt. Yes, you felt confused. Yes, you had to process what happened, but you didn't lose yourself. You didn't stay in the cycle. You didn't keep chasing answers that weren't being given. At some point, you stepped back. You chose yourself. You walked away. And that's where the dynamic changed. Because when someone is used to having emotional influence, and that influence suddenly disappears, they feel it. Not because of anything mystical, but because their sense of control is disrupted. They may start to think about you more. They may feel drawn back toward you. They may even start to develop stronger feelings after you have distanced yourself. This happens more often than people realize. Why? Because distance creates clarity. When you are no longer constantly available, your presence is no longer taken for granted. When you stop reacting, chasing, or engaging, they have space to actually feel what was there. And sometimes that's when real emotions surface. So now you may feel like they didn't care before. Why now? Why do they seem more interested after I walked away? Is this genuine or just another pattern? Those are the right questions. Because here's the truth. Just because someone develops feelings later doesn't mean they are ready to show up in a healthy way. And your growth is what protects you now. You have learned something from this experience. You have learned to trust your instinct areas. You have learned to recognize inconsistency. You have learned that intensity does not equal stability. And most important, you have learned a way that walking away is sometimes the most powerful thing you can do. Now let's address something deeper within you. You are someone who gives full. You love with sincerity. You show up with intention. And because of that, you may have believed that if you gave enough, understood enough, or stayed patient enough, things would eventually align. But in relationships, doesn't work that way. You can't love someone into emotional maturity. You can fix inconsistency by being more consistent. You can't create stability where it doesn't exist. And learning that's part of your growth. Now, as for this person, they may come back. They may reach out. They may try to reconnect. They may express things they didn't say before. But your responsibility now is not to get caught in the emotion of it. Your responsibility is to observe. Are their actions different? Are they consistent? Are they showing real growth? Are they able to meet you where you are now? Because you are not in the same place anymore. You are clearer, you are stronger, more aware. And here is something you should take pride in. You didn't lose your ability to love. You didn't shut down completely. You didn't become cold. You simply become more discerning. And that's the balance. You can still be open without being unprotected. You can still care without overextending. You can still connect without losing yourself. So don't look at this as something that happened to you. Look at it as something that taught you. It showed you how quickly attachment can form. It showed you how people behave when they are not grounded. It showed you the importance of stepping back when things don't feel right. And most importantly, it showed you that you are capable of walking away from something that once had a hold on you. That's not a weakness. That's your strength. So moving forward, take the lesson, keep your awareness, trust your instincts sooner, and know this. You don't need to fear connection. You just need to move with clarity, because now you are not the same person who entered that situation. And that means the outcome next time will be different.